I've reviewed quite a few controllers this year, and you guys know that cloud gaming just doesn't lend itself to a ton of hardware. That is what makes it such a versatile way of gaming. But if there's one universal thing that we are all looking for, that is the perfect controller. Well, the Backbone one isn't quite there, but it's the best gaming pad that I've used all year for my cloud gaming, and it might be the precursor for the future of high-end gaming controllers on mobile. And guys, that is saying something, and it's because it's got some really cool software attached that you just don't see on any other controller on the market, and it stands out big time. Stay tuned for that. Before I go further, please hit that like button because it goes a long way to give a little bit of love for the work put into this video, and consider subscribing for more hardware related reviews in regards to cloud gaming. So right off the bat, let's get stuff out of the way. First, this gamepad is only for iOS, but I do sincerely hope we see an Android version pretty soon. The Backbone one comes in at a hefty price at about 100 USD. Compare that to the current Amazon prices. The Kishi is about the same, or the Android Kishi is around $80 retail. But this controller to me is almost superior in every single way. First, the design of the Backbone one is very simple, but it fits very well in the hands. Looking at this gamepad as a whole on the surface, there isn't really a lot happening. The feel of it definitely has that plastic exterior, and I'm still waiting for that really premium build with these attached on controllers. But honestly, it's certainly not worse or better than the Kishi for comparison's sake. Everywhere else this thing does shine. The ease of putting it on the iPhone for me is really huge, and you simply just stretch out one side with the controller and you snap it into the lightning connector and you clamp the Backbone sides onto your phone. It's very simple and easy to use. From there, the joysticks were a bit smaller than I'm used to, and it definitely compares to the Joy-Con joysticks from Nintendo, but that wasn't a problem at all as they were extremely responsive. Pressing the buttons and the triggers showcased almost no latency, guys, from what I can tell playing on both GeForce Now and Stadia, and the triggers were easily less resistant than, say, the Kishi that tends to make you push a bit hard downward. I really like that. I felt that the Backbone was just a quicker and responsive to the touch. As for the D-pad, nothing really sticks out here, but again, it's solid, and the bumpers again gave me extremely responsive feedback when I was pressing down on them. Now, I have to say the Backbone one really made my entire gaming experience and gameplay very enjoyable playing in the cloud. Not only that, but this controller also adds a 3.5mm headphone jack, something typically missing from controllers like the Kishi NX2, and I can say this thing doesn't consume a ton of power or need to be recharged itself for use of play. So again, guys, more positives. But where finally this controller shines head above shoulders is the software attached. Now, you actually don't need it, but I could be wrong. I was able to launch some games without it from Stadia and GeForce Now, but the software is an absolute highlight. Now, unfortunately, not all of its nice perks might be useful for cloud gaming until we get dedicated gaming apps from Stadia and GFN, and we're not regulated to use to browsers. With that, they're still keeping up with updates on Stadia, as you guys can see here. Guys, there's really is a lot here to appreciate. The number one thing that stands out, you can record gameplay with the software like shown here, and you get 1080p video, and it doesn't take up a ton of memory due to the H.265 codec, which is good news. You can also screenshot off this software, all of it with just the press of a button. If you're someone who likes to record your gameplay and you don't want to deal with a limit like on Stadia with the 30-second clips, this controller and software is for you, and apparently you can even edit the clips, though I didn't get a chance to mess with that myself. There's also a dedicated friends section. You can add friends, you can party up with them, you can even use voice chat through this software and get notifications when your friends are online and ready to game. But I have to say, I'm not sure how much this would get used with cloud gaming, since stuff like Stadia has its own built-in friends list with all those same features. Also, if you happen to not actually cloud game at all and you're interested in other gaming, then you can store games off the app here and launch directly. Guys, there's no charge for any of this software. It is all available just by purchasing this controller. Overall, if this was a standalone gamepad for $100, I'd say that I'd love it. More than, of course, the X2 and Kishi that I reviewed this year, but that it's just too pricey. But then you mix the fact that I can record my own gameplay like this thing was OBS and even record my voice voice, then add in all the extra bells and whistles that come with the software, and the fact that they're doing a good job keeping it up to date, I do think is worth that little extra. So with that, I feel safe in saying the Backbone one is now my favorite cloud gaming controller. It feels great. Buttons and joysticks are all very responsive. I felt, guys, no latency whatsoever, which is the most important thing when it comes to cloud gaming. It was amazing to see and feel, and this controller has my recommendation 100%. I will have links down below to their store. The only real downside is this thing needs to be on Android, guys. ASAP, please. Pick this one up and let me know down below if you own a Backbone 1 and what your experience has been like, and if you plan on picking one up. If you haven't already liked this video, please do subscribe for more hardware first looks, and as always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.